Welcome to the Daily Influence, where our mission is to deliver a daily dose of positive influence that can uplift you personally or be shared within your sphere of influence. While not every episode may directly apply to your unique circumstances, we strive to provide insights and inspiration relevant to most people's daily, weekly, and monthly lives. Whether you are tuning in during the morning, noon, or night, the Daily Influence is here for you. Listen, share, and embrace the power of influence in your life.
It's great to be back on the I in Team series. Thanks, Brian, for the invitation to be here again. I'm Dave Evans from And.Scot. That's our website. That's where you'll find us. And.Scot. We help people around the world own their mind and own their life. And today we're going to talk about the power of connection. How do you stay connected? Wherever you live, whatever you're doing, whatever your circumstance is, how do you stay connected and make that part of how you are? One of the questions Brian asked me was, staying connected is important, but how do you do it in order to extend your sphere of influence? How do you do it to build relationships? Well, let's take a closer look at connection and connecting and that problem that exists with it today. We all tell ourselves, depending on where we are in our career or life, that we might just be too busy. You might have experienced that feeling of not having enough time. Technology is a key enabler in staying connected, which I'll share with you in a little while how I use tech to do that. Yet in many cases, it's replaced the space where connection normally exists. We've become more susceptible to the number of likes that something gathers, whether something's been seen, whether it's been shared, reposted. And those small tech habits have taken the space of what is a true human connection, which is what connecting is really all about. True connection is a feeling. It's a feeling that the other person has. It's where they've been heard, they've been felt, and they've been seen. Now, we live and work from a remote glen in Scotland. You can find that at eastershean.com. Easter, like the Easter egg, SHIAN.com, eastershean.com. And you can take a real look at how we actually work from a remote glen. Even though we're 17 miles from a town in every single direction, we also live in a spot where there's no internet, there's no cell phone coverage. We really live in this connected existence through technology, but also perfectly cut off. And it's from these circumstances that we practice connecting, both my wife and I, who run our businesses globally. We also work internationally, locally, and all across the UK, all from this same space. And what it teaches you is connection is a doing thing. Connection takes energy, it takes effort, and it takes your time. So here's 10 things that you can do to help you build better connection or to improve the connections you've already got. Here's the first one. Connection is a choice. You got to decide, do you care enough to connect? Whether it's with others at work, whether it's within your family network and friends, for me, connecting feels natural. Some of us, we have to work at it. Working at it means learning new tools, so you can make that choice easier next time round. The second one is who. Do you know the relationships that are the most important to you? Do you stop and think about that? And do you find time for them? True evidence of finding time for people that you care about is that, are they in your diary? Are they in your schedule? Here's number 3. Do you remember during COVID where we had coffees on video? The reason why people did that all over the world was to stay connected. Yet why is it in non-COVID conditions we've stopped some of those breakthrough moments where we all had enough time to go, I'm going to have a coffee with you on video on Saturday. I'm not anywhere near you, but why don't we just get together for a bit? You can still do that now, today, in post-pandemic. Number 4, what about using moments of time to connect? Do you know when you have a gap between a meeting? What if you were to just send a message or an act of encouragement in a short text? Or maybe you had a positive thought about somebody, something you'd seen earlier that day in the workplace. What if, once again, you sent that as a message rather than just thought it, you shared it to get connected? Number 5 is, how do you use your travel time? One of the things that I like to do is when I'm in the car for long periods, I use it to call someone and find out how they're doing and if they're okay. Practicing listening like my life depends on it. Number 6, I also combine this with other things that I do. When I'm out cycling, if I'm going up a climb, it doesn't matter how long the climb is, there's enough period of time, maybe a couple of miles up a mountain, I use that time to call somebody whilst I'm cycling. The win for me is I cycle at a pace that keeps me nice and calm. And the win for the other person, I hope, is I call them and I get to talk to them and see how they're doing and really concentrate on what's going on in the conversation. Number 7, I like to leave voice notes. There's a power in revealing the tone or the intended tone in a message. What if you just did that a little bit more often? Number 8, go deeper. If somebody shares a moment with you, doesn't matter whether it's exciting or a challenge, really show you've paid attention, ask some questions and demonstrate that you care. And if it's a good moment, really notice it and amplify that feeling with them so that you turn that moment into a deeper moment. Number 9, use technology to your advantage. In order to make the Glen lifestyle work, for us to be able to stay connected whilst living on purpose, there are some straightforward tools that we use. We have mobile 4G. We have SIMs in our cars. That's a SIM card. We also have a dongle to use where we can take it with us and work from remote locations, and we have satellite internet. So despite us being in this remote circumstances, we can optimize our connection through the technology available to us. What do you use? An example to help you with this was I was recently driving to Edinburgh, and on the drive, I called somebody up from my phone, and I had, you have to remember here that when I make this call, I don't call with an agenda or a plan. It literally is just to see how you're doing and to focus on that connection, to get a real sense of where that person's up to in their life at that moment in time. And I do that in any long drive. Do you have moments like that where maybe you could drive connection too? But whilst we talk about the 9 so far, the final one that I still do to this day is I also do something called a soul food card. A soul food card is where I write something genuine, positive and specific when I'm with a person, so that's I can give it to them, and I get to see that connection, to capture that moment together. One of the things a soul food card does, which I truly enjoy, is it leaves a moment of impression with that person. And they'll remember it. They'll remember it the next time I see them. Our adopted mother, Pauline, who lives in England, sends us cards regularly with really great words and really great notes in it, that when they come in the post, I have to tell you, I look forward to opening because I know she's put so much thought into the card and so much thought into the writing. What if you could take one of these ideas too and improve your connection by doing it the old analog way, by sending something even in the post? One last thing. I also take care to stay connected by making sure that my voicemail is personal. So if you call me and you can't get through to my phone, you still hear this voice, you still hear this sound, and I've put energy into the message so you can feel good at the same time before you leave the message, so you still get that feeling. You see, connection takes effort. There's 10 things I've shared with you that I do to help you extend your sphere of influence. Whichever ones you use or decide to put into action, they're there for you to test, find out more, see what happens when you do it, and to apply your own learnings. Now, we wouldn't be And if we didn't ask you 3 And questions. Remember, And from a previous I in Team series is action, now do something different. From the 10 items I've shared, choose one you can put into action today. Now, think about 5 or 6 people that you want to make a real concerted effort to improve your connection with and improve your influence. do something different, what about the tech you're using? Is there an opportunity for you to improve connection by just stopping for a minute and going, do I have the tech I actually need? You see, connection, remember, is a doing thing. And I promise you, if you put connection into action on a daily basis, you will become more connected, you will improve your sphere of influence, and you will enhance your relationships, all at the same time.